Welcome to the conversation you never knew you needed. No filters, no masks, just real talk and honest insight.
Okay, so today we're diving into the world of lip fillers. And wow, you sent me some interesting stuff. We've got like a warning from a clinic, a YouTube video from some cosmetic surgeons, and even a whole website dedicated to lip fillers. I mean, fuller lips are everywhere these days, but
Yeah,
this just shows it's not as straightforward as it seems, right?
definitely not. It's interesting because you've got this whole thing with beauty trends, and then you bring in actual medical procedures. It's bound to get complicated.
For sure. And speaking of complicated, this London clinic CosmeDocs, you're saying there's a rise in botched lip jobs because people without proper qualifications are doing them. And that's pretty concerning, to say the least.
Yeah, and the thing is, people looking to get these treatments, they don't always realize how unregulated it can be. Like, did you know, for example, that dermal fillers, they're actually classified as surgical devices, not medicines?
Dude, really? I had no idea. That doesn't seem right, does it? You're injecting something into your body. You'd think it would have to be regulated like medicine.
Right. But that's the thing, this loophole that CosmeDocs is talking about. Because they're devices, it's way easier for people to get them, even if they haven't had proper medical training, like injections or facial anatomy.
Okay, now that is kind of scary. So you're saying someone could be giving these injections without the same level of expertise as like
Yeah,
a doctor or a registered nurse.
exactly. And that's what's worrying. It makes you think, who's responsible for making sure these procedures are done right? And that they're even legit in the first place.
You wouldn't go to a bakery and expect them to do brain surgery.
Exactly. Just like you wouldn't trust an amateur mechanic with your car, your face, especially your lips. They deserve to be treated by someone who knows what they're doing.
Totally. It makes you wonder if this easy access to fillers is maybe why we're seeing all these crazy lip filler trends, like Russian lips, devil lips, M-shaped lips. There's a new one every week.
Yeah, social media has definitely made those looks popular. But people forget trends come and go, and what might look good now could have really bad consequences later on.
Yeah. And the cosmetic surgeons in that YouTube video from CosmeDocs, they were talking about that, but how some people who do injections, they might be really good technically,
Right.
but that doesn't mean the results are good.
Exactly. They made a good point. They said that a lot of these trendy techniques, they're all about getting this super exaggerated look right away, but in the long term, they can actually damage your lips, like when they overfill them, or stretch the skin too much, or use techniques that don't respect the natural shape of your lips. All of that can cause problems down the line.
So it's not just about getting the look you want. It's about make sure your lips stay healthy too.
Exactly. You want to enhance what you already have naturally, not completely change it. But that seems hard for some people, especially with all these very specific and often unnatural beauty standards out there.
Okay, so let's say you've thought about the risks. You've found someone qualified, and you're ready to explore lip fillers. This CosmeDocs website is really helpful, actually. They break down the difference between getting 0.5 milliliters of a filler and a full 1 milliliter of it.
It shows you how much this procedure really depends on the person. People think with lip fillers, it's like, the bigger the better. But it's not that simple. How much filler you get makes a huge difference to how it turns out.
Right. And they even show the price difference on the website. 0.5 milliliter is $275 and 1 milliliter is $325. But I'm guessing price shouldn't be the deciding factor here.
No, absolutely not. A good practitioner will look at your face, talk to you about what you want, and then recommend an amount of filler and a technique that suits your lips, not just whatever's trendy at the moment.
So more about enhancing what you already have,
Yeah.
not trying to completely change your lip.
Exactly. And they even talk about that on the CosmeDocs website, how different lip types will react differently to the same amount of filler. Like someone with naturally thin lips, they might get a really noticeable difference with just 0.5 milliliter. But someone with fuller lips, they might need 1 milliliter or even more to get the look they want.
That makes sense. And what about the filler itself? What's it actually made of? CosmeDocs says they only use hyaluronic acid Jan fillers. Is that a good thing?
Yeah. Hyaluronic acid is something that's already found naturally in our bodies. It attracts and holds moisture. That's why it's in so many skincare products for hydration and plumping. But for fillers, hyaluronic acid has even more advantages.
Like what?
Well, because it's naturally in our bodies. It's biocompatible, so you're less likely to have an allergic reaction or bad side effects. Plus, hyaluronic acid fillers are reversible. So if you don't like how they look for any reason, they can be dissolved with this enzyme called hyaluronidase.
So you have a way out if you need it.
Yeah, exactly. It's not something to be taken lightly, of course, but having that option to reverse it can be reassuring.
For sure, but there's still some risks, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it is still an injection.
Of course, like any medical procedure, there are inherent risks. That's why choosing the right practitioner is so important. But yeah, even then, complications can happen.
And what happens then?
That's where hyaluronic acid fillers are great.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're reversible, they can usually fix a botched job. They can inject you with this enzyme, hyaluronidase. It basically breaks down the hyaluronic acid, so it dissolves the filler. It's not instant, but it can help reverse the effects of too much filler, or if it's migrated, or if it's not symmetrical.
That's good to know. So it's like a safety net.
Well,
Not just if you don't like how it looks,
Yeah.
but also if something goes wrong during the procedure.
Exactly. And actually, CosmeDocs says they've been seeing more patients lately who are coming to them to fix botched fillers they got somewhere else. Often those really cheap deals you see advertised on social media shows how important it is to choose quality and safety over just saving a few bucks.
Yeah, you get what you pay for, right?
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, how much does it hurt? Because needles anywhere near my lips, that does not sound fun.
I get it. But most practitioners, CosmeDocs included, they use a numbing cream beforehand, so you don't really feel anything.
So it's not like getting a tattoo.
Oh, no, not at all. And the fillers themselves usually have lidocaine in them, which is another anesthetic. You might feel a little pinch or some pressure, but it shouldn't be bad at all, especially with the numbing cream.
That's good to know. Now, for people who want a little lip enhancement, but maybe aren't ready for fillers, this website mentions something called a lip flip. What is that?
A lip flip is like a less intense alternative to fillers. Instead of injecting filler directly, they use a tiny bit of Botox injected into the muscle around your lips.
Botox. I thought that was for wrinkles.
Botox can be used for a lot of things.
Sure.
In this case, it relaxes the muscle that controls your upper lip, so it relaxes and flips slightly outward, which makes your upper lip look fuller.
So it's like a subtle way to get a fuller pout.
Exactly. It's popular with people who want to make their Cupid's bow stand out more, or just have a more defined lip shape.
How long does the lip flip last?
It's temporary, like Botox always is, usually around 3 to 4 months. It's good if you want to try out a different look, or see if you like having a more defined lip shape without committing to fillers.
Like a test drive for your lips. Now, this website has a whole section on different filler volumes and what they're best for. 0.5 milliliter, 0.7 milliliter, 1 milliliter, even 2 milliliter.
And that's the point. It shows how much this procedure depends on you as an individual. It's not about trying to look like someone else. It's about finding what looks best on your face and works with your features and your goals.
Yeah, it's not just about how big you want your lips. It's about what will actually look good on you.
Exactly. A skilled practitioner will help you figure that out. They'll consider your bone structure, what you want to achieve, and what's possible with your anatomy.
It really is amazing how much there is to think about. And it makes you wonder, right? With social media especially, there's so much pressure to look a certain way.
Yeah.
How do you know when you're just enhancing your features versus feeling like you have to change yourself completely?
It's such a big question these days, isn't it? It's great if you can make choices that make you feel more confident, but it's easy to get caught up in chasing this perfect image that's always changing and honestly can be impossible to achieve.
Totally. It's like, are you doing it for yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Or because you feel like you have to fit in?
Yeah, exactly. That's why it's so important to really think about why you want to do this and to talk to a practitioner who gets it. A good one won't just do whatever you ask. They'll actually talk to you about your reasons, what you expect to happen, and help you make a decision that feels right for you.
And you know what? That's what I like about this CosmeDocs website. They actually say straight up, lip fillers are loved by some and despised by some. You don't see that on websites like this very often.
I know, it's kind of refreshing. They're admitting that this isn't for everyone.
Right. And it's not always about getting this like perfect Instagram look. It's about feeling good about yourself.
Exactly. And sometimes that means enhancing something you want to stand out more. And sometimes it means accepting what you have naturally and finding other ways to feel good about yourself.
So it all comes down to being informed, right? The more you know about the procedures, the risks, what you can realistically expect, the better choices you can make for yourself.
Absolutely. And that's what's so great about these deep dives. We get to learn all this stuff so we can make these decisions with our eyes wide open.
Well said. So as we wrap up this deep dive into lip fillers, what's the one thing you hope our listeners take away from this?
I think it's this. Cosmetic procedures like lip fillers, they're a choice, not a requirement. So before you decide to do anything, do your research. Find someone who really knows what they're doing. And most importantly, make sure it's something you actually want, not something you feel pressured into.
It's your face, your body, your choice. And at the end of the day, true beauty comes from being comfortable with who you are.
Couldn't agree more.
That's all the time we have for today's deep dive. We hope you found this exploration of lip fillers helpful and that it gave you a lot to think about. Remember, knowledge is power. And when it comes to your appearance, the best decisions are informed ones.